187 and welcome back, and not just welcome back to yourselves but welcome back to me as well, because it has been a whole month since I last booted up this game and booted up this save. I'm very excited to get back into it and continue our really fun adventure we've been having in Spain. I'm interested to see what comes as we continue through the years, because I've not played any private games beyond this time frame either, so I've not played around with missile tech yet. I wanted to do it kind of live. We're not there yet, obviously, but we're going to have a little bit of fun when we get there. Where are we though? Well, that's a good question, as I try and rack the old grey cells, to remember what's going on. We do, of course, have a treaty that hit us last time and caused a great deal of pain with some scrapping of some glorious CVs. Yeah, we are limited to 30,000 tons, 14-inch guns, and only building 45,000 tons at a time. And more impactfully is our tonnage limitations. So I don't know, tell me here if I hover. Yes, so 280,000 tons in total, of which half of that can be heavy capital ships. So that's really put a squeeze on us. So where did we come? Well, we built ourselves some treaty cruisers, because that's what you do when there's a naval treaty on the go. And we have the Tagus, the Lima, and the Mino Sil. So again, sticking with the river names. And these are some, pretty nifty, fairly fast, 10-inch guns. I think that's a pretty handy heavy cruiser, to be perfectly honest. I quite like that design. Apart from that, we fairly stripped back the fleet. Was a little bit of tonnage we can maybe play around with some light cruisers if we depends how long the treaty lasts. We could potentially scrap some corvettes and replace them with light cruisers. And then of course rebuild a bunch of corvettes when war breaks out. But we're not there yet. We've got 2 years left in those heavy cruisers, so that's probably going to dictate what we do for a while. I was having a look around at our bases and things. There's a few areas I think we'd like to expand our air bases just a scooch in preparation for the next war, which I think, again, I would like to keep going with France, because there's a couple of holdings, really just two I'd love to get, is Hainan and the Antilles here. And that's a really moment. I mean, we could pick up some random stuff in New Caledonia and Hebrides, or even Senegal. But if we didn't get those, I'd be okay. These are the kind of two, at which point I'd be like, well, my main target for France is done, and then we'll just see what opportunities arise. If we have a quick look at relations, I think it's all fairly peaceful at the minute. France does have an alliance with Italy. Kind of okay. We'd probably want maybe a little bit of help if we were going to up against them both. We could do it, but it would be a bit of a tough chew until we sank a few of their ships. Apart from that, the world's pretty peaceful, which you would expect with a treaty on the go. No air units on the Pegasus. Let's ignore that and we'll do that next turn ourselves. There's no real rush. Okay, the economy is recovering, which is hopefully mean a little bit more money. New British dive bomber. Fine. Aviation experts are amazed that we're still operating airships. Oh yeah, can we scrap those? I think I talked about it previously. Somebody said you could. And I'm going to try and remember how you do it. No, I don't want to build or expand. If I go into... Oh, there must be some place of doing it. Hang on, give me 2 secs. Okay, Google to rescue as ever, and actually, of course, the NWS forum posts is where the answer came into it. You can indeed scrap airship bases. So I was looking over in, I think, these area views or base views, but that's not what you want. If you come over to your coastal fortifications tab, get your airship base, you can right click and then you can scrap, which we shall do because it'll save us a little bit of money going forward. Not that money's going to be a huge concern. But actually these are making a difference. The rest, oh, here's another airship base. What's that, minus 880? Ah, that's kind of 200 or so. That does add up surprisingly. Yeah, we've just saved ourselves a ton of money there. Should have done that a while ago. But that's good. Okay, perfect. We'll expand some of these 20s into 40s when we get there, when we're talking about, but I could probably afford to do that now, to be honest. So what ones I was thinking of, just I think 2 of them mainly, was Santander, which is currently a 20 cap, or 20 capacity, expanding that to 40, and then same story with Da Nang, expanding that to 40, and might even push that one to 60, because obviously if we're going after France and Indochina, we're going to be up in this little bay area for when we try and kind of take the territory and stuff. That was the only real places where I felt we were maybe a little bit short. Why don't we expand those ones now, if I can find Da Nang and expand that base? Which for some reason hasn't impacted my expenses yet, but okay. And where's Santander? There, Naval Air Station, of course, because it's in my home territory. Let's expand that base as well. Good. Oh, I didn't put planes on our CV. We can do it in a minute. France is going to sell us some technology. I'll buy it. That one. Happy to buy essentially any torpedo, any technology I can get my hands on. Damage control improvement. That's nice to see. Okay, I don't know why these expansions aren't really costing us, but I'll not query that. Let's have a look at things. I want to look at my aircraft types. Where are we? 1940, and we're in 1943. That's fine. I mean, we could request a new proposal just for the sake of it. We've got a few 1940s in here actually. Torpedo bomber and dive bomber are also 3 years old. Okay, why don't we get a new one of them? I don't understand why this isn't done by year. Let's just start with the floatplane scout, and we'll just go through the list. You need to have range and maybe toughness, so you get back. Okay. We do have 2 fighters on the list. I was looking at this before and putting a little bit of thought into it, because this newer fighter, it's a variation, it's actually does not go as far. It's not a huge reduction in range, but it is a reduction in range. It's also slightly less tough. However, it's a little bit faster max speed, which obviously helps your air combat. So it's potentially a better fighter overall. They are both average reliability, which would have been another way to decide between them. And in fact, I've just noticed that in service, they've all changed over to the newer one as well. So do you know what? I'm just going to obsolete this. It might be an interesting one to have changed it. So you say I'll maybe take some of the slightly longer range ones and run them as an escort and keep the more athletic ones as cap, but you don't really have that freedom. So we can do that. Okie doke. Pegs has finished working up. Excellent. I promise I will get to it. We're going to get improved A director. Thank you very much. And then you've just another improved version of the C variant. What have you got for us? What have you got for us? Oh, slightly more fire. You've slapped another gun on it and called it new. That's fine. I'll take an extra gun. Okay, let's have a look at our air groups. These CV picks for 92. Oh, we're just going to copy the cruiser. 2 fighters, a dive bomber, 2 torpedo bombers. I quite like those. That seems nice. Copy air group. Paste. Look. Yeah. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, we're now proficient in our new tactics. Did we add damage control? Doctrines. Yeah, gunnery and damage control. Which is, it's costing us a bit of money, but I think it's worth it. And money's not really an issue at the minute. More money is always good because you can upgrade and refresh all your fleets, but obviously we're capped on size, which is the main driver. Let's just chunk forward a few months. A better cap, that's nice. A regional war seems imminent in South America. One of our major arms manufacturers want to step up exports. I will happily stoke the fires of war. And we have even better medium AA. Okay. World is still pretty peaceful. And as expected, they take our money away. They also reduce our dock size because we're not building enough, which is frustrating. We're actually building a reasonable amount, to be honest. Are we building 42,000 tons? No, okay. Yeah, must be. We've got 42,000 tons being built. Apparently that's not good enough for them. A disarmament conference. We've already been disarmored. Or disarmed. I'm not sure what to do with you. I don't want to be further disarmed. Let's see, no, let's not go silly here. We've got a thing, it's in place forever. It's like 30 years or 20 odd years. I don't want to scrap any more of my beautiful, beautiful ships. Ooh. Austro-Hungary and France. So, oh, the Higgins boat. Let's have a look. Multi-117s. Interesting. Right, stop popping things up. I needed to look at different stuff there. Okay, Philippine Scout. I'll come back to the diplomatic relations in a moment. We just want you to go far, so you've got the range. Everyone else is actually a reduction. In some cases, a big reduction in range. Interesting. You're faster. You can go farther. You can't shoot. But I don't really care about that. You are slightly less tough, slightly less maneuverable. And you don't even go that much. This has been seems to be an amazing plane compared to what we're being offered now. I don't think I even get any of these in service. I don't, so it's not that big a drama llama. Let's take this faster one. Let's go with a better range as well. Being offered a better medium bomber. The B variant, which is slightly faster. Maybe done some marginal weight savings. Oh, its range is better though. These are also pretty big numbers, so it doesn't really matter. They're all the same. Reliability is poor on the existing one, so that's actually a really nice upgrade. I like it. Thank you very much. Right, I wanted to look at the almanac. No, not the almanac. All relations. So France is building themselves a bit of a defensive alliance here with Spain and Austria. I mean, I think if I was with Spain and Austria. Oh! What a faux pas. I'll wash my mouth out with soap. Italy and Austria. Sorry, Spain. You know, if we were sitting here as Spain in the real world, you'd be like feeling pretty diplomatically isolated right now, wouldn't you? You'd be knocking on Germany and Britain's door to try and make some friends. But we don't get that choice. And then with 17-inch gun, I don't think we use that caliber. No, we've got 16s on our Tridents. And then, yeah, 10s for heavy cruisers, and then we have nothing heavier. Interesting. Okay, better coordination. Head of Naval Aviation, which brings your attention that we can develop new light jet fighters. Ah, so this is the new plane stuff. Yes, let's do that. So presumably these have I can't remember if these are multi-role or if we get bomber ones later. Or no, we're gonna have to wait until we get air-to-ship missiles before these become multi-role. I think. This is where I'm trying to remember what I read in the manual many, many months ago, but I'll have to go refresh myself after this one. Okay, first one's up. What do you want? Jet fighters. Let's go for... I feel like your first jets are going to have terrible range. Let's try and make that better. Let's give them reasonable firepower. Yeah. Assuming these are going to be fighter roles to begin with. Okay, someone who doesn't have a job, that isn't one of our viewers. will get fired. Okie doke. Not even upset about it. A revolution in an African country has left some of our nationals stranded. Well, let's send in the planes, because we've got nothing else to do. Submarine research is being hampered. We don't care. We're not focusing on submarines. Japanese government would like to buy some stuff. Have at it, my friends. I have no qualms with the Japanese. Use of diving shells. Okay. What are you? Oblique penetration ability. Improved penetration at oblique angles, 10% less damage. Not sure about that. Okay, are we opposite? Or underwater performance. Oh, they're your diving shells. Chance for new misses to be converted to underwater hits. Large dud probability. That doesn't... I mean, if I think the number of times you have near misses, it's not that often. Anything, I'd be tempted to go for the large bursting charge because our combat doesn't tend to stay at the extreme ranges for very long. And our hits at low ranges haven't been very good. Now that's going to get better and better and better and better, especially when we get like radar assisted fire control. So that is some interesting choices there, which I will casually avoid making any decision by just hiding it for just now. Maybe something to think about. Better radar. Oh, nice. American planes. China wants to buy our plane. Absolutely. Oh, where's one? Yes. All yours, China. Come a long way since having to buy Japanese dive bombers. Oh my god, France. Okay, so war with France is off the table. America, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. Wow. A spy from Great Britain. Tensions aren't too high. Really want a war with Great Britain. Yeah, they got 7 carriers. That's a lot of carriers. Surface fleet's not... I mean, actually, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. What's your tonnage there? Oh, you know, about 3 times mine. Okay, let's avoid Great Britain for just now. Although I don't know who I'm going to war with then. I mean, so you don't really get to choose. I mean, we could whip China, but it just feels mean at this stage. Germany? Yeah, that would be a healthy challenge. Doke. More research. Let's keep going. Delegation from major doctors complain that without new contracts, they risk having to reduce capacity. Keeping 25% of total capacity busy will prevent this. I mean, it's a bit crazy, right? Because, and I feel like that might need a tweak because obviously, one, you've got dock size, which is just the biggest dock you have in your country. And obviously we expand that, and that limits what's the biggest hull you can produce. Now, it's a little bit silly. So in Rule Waves 2, obviously, there was no capacity limitations, and as long as you had a dockyard size of 40,000 tons, you could lay down 8 40,000-ton vessels. And that's obviously not how the rule works. There's been a little change in this game. And I know I'm telling people that know all about this, but I'm going to say anyway. Whereas you now have a maximum shipyard capacity of things you can build at the one time as well. And it makes sense that this can vary as well. And I think it does make sense that if you aren't building a huge number of ships, then your overall capacity could reduce because the number of yards you have building ships and slipways available ships, companies going bust because they've got no work. Yeah, that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is that your biggest docks get slightly smaller. So I feel like there might be a nice way to tweak the capacity so that, like these events happen, you don't use it, it shrinks. But similarly, if you start building lots of ships again, then it can expand. And there's limits on it, but that might be a better way to handle it than they're doing at the minute. But I'll not quibble too much. And in fact, I might I might just build a new dockyard. How much does this cost? $1 million a month for 12 months. What are we on here? We've got 5 or 6 months left. Yeah, let's do it. Let's expand the dockyard. Which will offset some of these events, if nothing else. Okay, major arms firm again. Keep going for it. We've got better armor, that's nice. Better AA. Take that, thank you very much. And light jet fighter prototypes. Okay. Unsurprisingly, these guys go pretty quick. Who would have think that of a jet fighter? Although they do carry 1,000-pound bombs and heavy load, which is interesting. Yeah, these seem pretty darn awesome. Okay, what have we got in terms of ranges and things? It's fairly similar. Top one goes a bit further. Okay, so I think the middle one is just worse. And then we've got the bottom one is slightly more maneuverable, slightly tougher. It has a reduced range. I'm tempted to go for this one, I think. What does... Oh, can I see other types at the minute? No. I was wanting to look at our existing fleet. Okay, let's go for that one. Now if we go into our aircraft types, we can have a look at this jet fighter and see how he compares to our latest fighter. You see, actually surprisingly less maneuverable, much more firepower, much faster, and similar ranges, better ranges on heavier loadouts. I still want to look at our, what was our dive bomber? A dive bomber is only got 1,000-pound bombs. Obviously, theoretically, it should be better at bombing than the jet fighters. Although, yeah, presumably fighter jets can do some fairly oblique angled bombing as well. Interesting. Okay, new float plane, which isn't that interesting, but we will obsolete the old float plane. That's the wrong screen. Obsolete. Good. So then, yeah, I want more jets, please. Oh, no, we can get our torpedo bombers, I suppose. I feel like at some point we're just going to commit to new jets for everything. Mid-40s seems a little bit on the early side, though. Who else has got jet attack? Sorry, not jet attack. Yeah, that's the one. That's what you need. Jet fighters. I'm only jet fighter. Whew. Check us out. Alright, so in 9 months, when these things get out, and we've built a few of them, let's get a war and see what difference they can make. I would like torpedo bombers to... We don't really have to worry about bomb load. Our range is probably good, although more range helps. I think it's probably just toughness. So don't get shot down before you deliver your payload. Japan wants some tech. You can have it. The Gonzalez Gilpazo aircraft company would like to support participation in international air race. Absolutely, have twice as much. I'm a GP-145 wins the trophy for the fastest aircraft. So that's our jet. Air Sea Rescue, beautiful. Do you want to institute Air Sea Rescue service? Makes air more expensive, but you give better pilot survival. Yes. I care about my pilots. French government's going to sell us stuff. I will take it. Better AP projectiles, sure. Hey, Mategus has been commissioned. And the economy is improving. What's a recommendation? More resources for Navy? I don't really need it, to be honest, right now. Build a highway system for long-term development or social spending. I don't need any unrest. Oh, actually, unrest's at 5. Wonder why. But let's go for long-term economic development. More money in everyone's pockets makes everyone happier. Bigger carriers, beautiful. Okay. Those trees are all still in place. We may need to just prompt the war with someone to get out of this treaty. Okay, and this is us running into being over our cap. Political murder in the Balkans. Right, demand the guilty are brought to justice. I can't remember exactly how alliance chains work. I go to war with Italy. I think France will get pulled in. Don't know if they then pull in their allies. I can't remember. A little bit of tension. Budget up, prestige down. More tension. Or just double tension. Let's go for single tension here. Okay, 1% weight savings, always nice. Better damage control is also nice. And new medium bomber, fine. Okay, we're leaning to a little bit more Italy. Right, we now need to, unfortunately, scrap some of our old ships here. The Douro and the Ebro. Which have served us well. Then I should leave. Yeah, our 3 new heavy cruisers. Currently working up. And we've got a very small amount of capacity left, 5,000. Which could build us, I suppose, in a one-off heavy cruiser of some description if we so wished. I might retire the Sisney now as well, actually, because that would get us up to 8,000 and change. Oh, yes, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to retire the Sisney and the Adalbert, and we're going to plan to maybe squeeze out a couple of light carriers. I like that idea, because they won't be involved in this one. No, good. So what would that give us? You would be 8,900, adding on the spare capacity here and this one. And that's 8,600, so we'd have to have a ship that was 8,750. If my maths. Now, of course, we can probably steal some things from down here and shift people onto foreign stations. Wouldn't necessarily be efficient, but it'd be a way to get some extra weight if required. So why don't we see what we can possibly get for a very light cruiser. 11,000 is too much. We're talking about 8,000. 750 at 30 knots, which is good. What does our current CVs go up to? They're 28. So potentially we could save a little bit of weight and go 28. I don't really think we need much in the way of gunnery. We can bring down a couple of 4-inch dual-purpose turrets. No secondaries, no tertiaries. What can we bring down here? I like these guns, but let's say if we take those out, how much planes have we got? 32, which is a nice number of planes. I think the limit's 34, if I remember correctly. We just obviously tend to try and build them up to their max. What else could we bring down? Yeah, I'm not sure we want to get rid of all torpedo defense. You've already got no armor. You have, yeah. You've got no flight deck armor either. Feels like a familiar discussion. Yeah, I think we'll really just have to scale you down to say 28. I think these are going to be very susceptible to hits. Okay, we can trim the A directors. And I think this might do us. So a bit of speed. We're using all of the spare tonnage we can muster. I mean, let's be honest, it's an improvement off the Adalbert, which has got... Oh, actually you've got 27 aircraft. I take that back. That's pretty good. But you're much quicker. The Adalbert is really a bit on the slow side. So this, I think, will do us. Okay. And we'll get two of them. Oh. I've clearly never tried that before. That's really disappointing. Alright, let's just steal some of your gun rounds. Done. Beautiful. Build it. We have quite a significant balance. Not much to do with it, to be honest. Go to our coastal fortifications. You know, I'm just going to expand you because I can, and probably the same with Ferrol and Santander, just to give us some options into Europe, Northern Europe, if we wish. We could also, not that I think we particularly need it, we could expand the Philippines, not fortification, although we could do a few more of those, but... sure. Kind of a waste of money. But I like the thematic idea of having a big naval base in the Philippines that, you know, facilitates our Far East force. Because that's where our big colonial holdings are. Anyway, the Generalissimo, I forgot we'd gone Generalissimo, has made a foreign policy gaffe. Oh no. Who could we blame it on? Germany, Great Britain, Italy, France, America. I mean, I'd happily live in Italy, except the whole war with everyone thing, so let's just blame it on Germany. If in doubt, we could maybe fight with Germans. We don't have any land that we want, but we could just, you know, bash each other around and try and take some money or something. Or lose. You know, those are the options available to us. Okay, more ships finished working up. Don't really care about that. One thing we could have a look at as well is, does anyone need a little bit of love? So you guys were refitting 10 years ago, so you're almost obsolete. You're going to upset my foreign stations, but fine. Let's bring you in for rebuild. Nope, let's design your rebuild even. Okay, so you've already got the quality 1 5-inch guns. You don't have any of them. You don't have many of them. Got the best director. We are somehow out of weight slightly. Not sure I've actually got much better for you, to be honest. Not really an improvement. You might be similar. Is anyone older? No, 42, 42. They're all 39. Okay. And then what about on our big capitals? Have we got any improvement? Have we got 16 quality 1 yet? No, we don't. We could increase your radar tech though. Although our tech is only 2, so it doesn't really matter. little bit future proofing, but there's no one really crying out for a rebuild. These guys are only done soon because at some point this year they're going to hit obsolete. So you know what, let's just do it now. Then for rebuild. It's just a paint, essentially. We're going to put paint on it. We'll just take those off to help our weight a little bit. Fine. Rebuild the Puerto Rico. We'll rebuild the Baltico as well. Again, there's not much doing. Let's see if we can give you an A director. We can. Dual purpose guns. Here's it. We can give you an upgrade. Okay, don't have quality 1 yet, but we can give you dual purpose. We can give you an A director. That will help a little bit. And we'll give you a few medium guns. Okie dokie. I mean, to be honest, we might better serve just never mind refitting these things, just replacing them. But we have, well, we've got one plan next month. So we will need to probably put the Escudos here onto foreign stations. We are actually not that short, so we could just do that. Perfect. Anybody else? No, everyone else is fine. Huh. Okie dokie. Shipyards are closing. Womp womp. Oh god. Okay, so Germany and Austria-Hungary are now in alliance. Oh, I forgot to give you a proper name. Oh, that's disappointing. Okay. Yeah, so Germany aligned with Austria. Austria aligned with France and Germany. France allied with Italy, Austria-Hungary, and America. If I declared war on, say, Austria-Hungary, I'd be fighting France and Germany. Okie doke. Someone else needs to go on forestations, apparently. Okay, we're stolen some tech. New torpedo bombers. What you got for me? Oh man, your range is huge these days. Okay, that's not some. Any of these is good. Like 450 is more than enough, so I don't really have to worry about range anymore. Speed's very close. Maneuverability, firepower again, but you're much, much tougher. Okay, I like you. Let's go for that. Dive bomber. Yep, we can do one of them. I would like you to have a slightly bigger bomb load. I would like to have better range. We're building those and we're still in the black. So yeah, the question is now what ones do we want to replace? And it may well be that these cruisers we're currently refitting are actually the ones we want to place as our oldest ships. Other things we could do would be replacing these destroyers. Oh my god, they're 1914 destroyers. Yeah, okay, let's get rid of these guys. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Which is 54, sorry, 100 tons. 5,400 tons. I'd probably want to build, I'll probably want to place them with something smaller. Maybe we'll do. Do you know what I would like to do actually? Because we do have like a torpedo on a bunch of these gentlemen, but maybe create, say, 5 smaller ones focused purely as AA platforms that we would then assign into a division that could defend our CVs. You know, I quite like that idea. Let's design one of those. So we would like ourselves a destroyer, please. Going to be a Toti destroyer. Our speed doesn't actually need to be crazy because you're going to be hanging about with 28 knot CVs and CLVs. Oh, I've lost you. Come back, please. Thank you. Yeah, dual purpose 5-inch. I'm quite happy with that as your main armament. We do need to lose a bunch of weight. 000 here. I'm tempted to say have. Is that bold saying have no torpedoes? It's a little bold. Right, let's get rid of your mine warfare. It's useful to have DC. Something's got to give somewhere. Let's trim some of this down. Although that's kind of your main job. I don't need these, because you're not really there to defend anybody else, just defend yourself. And anti-submarine warfare doesn't really take up that much space. Let's say limit you to Tech 2. Let's bring this down to say 200. Going to really squeeze the dial here. Okay, let's see if we said you weren't anti-submarine warfare at all. So you are an AA destroyer. Which we'll do, right? 16 tons, we can squeeze that in somewhere. In fact, we could probably even bring you down. Okay. I think that's okay. They're only really going to be good for one roll, but that's fine. I mentioned you'll give them a name. And there we go. The anti-area, which is just anti-aircraft, because that seemed fitting. Happy? Ooh. Ah, you have to have torpedoes. Huh. Well, I didn't know that. Okay, let's do a centerline swivel mount. Sure, there. That's a terrible place. Bring you forward to P. Sure, that'll do. 84 tons. Now we could, suppose, bring the number of tubes down a little bit. Still 40 tons I've got to get from somewhere. Well, I guess I'm going to lose one of these, which kind of sucks. I have 56 tons left over, so I could 3 tons. We'll bring up our gunnery a little bit here, and then I suppose you can have a little bit more defense. Okay, that'll have to do. Fine. Ship is overgunned. Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that? More than 3 times 5-inch guns required displacement of 1500 tons. Can't have twin DP on ships below. I've never built in this small before. Okay, so we've got to drop down to 4-inch, which is not the end of the world. Actually gives us a bunch more tons. Can I put my turret back in? Oh wait, aft superimposed, double turret. Yes, I can. Okay, so maybe that was it. The answer was just to drop down to what do you call it? 4-inch. God, look at the space we've got. So much room for activities. Okay. It's still quite slow for a destroyer, but that's okay. We're not going to be doing any mad torpedo runs. They've got some torpedoes there, which probably aren't just be good for scaring people off more than anything else. Happy? Happy? Happy. Beautiful. Let's do it. So we're going to get 5 of these bad boys. Okay. And with that, I think we'll draw this episode to a close. So a bit more kind of back and finding our feet, kind of tweaks to our fleet more than anything else. I'm scratching my head a little bit about where to aim my aggression right now, to be honest. The world's kind of interlinking itself. And I'll say I don't want to pick a fight that's going to go horribly wrong for us. But yes, we could. Maybe it's going to be tangled with Italy / France as well. See what we can get away with. I'm not sure. But as ever, let me know your thoughts, and we'll see where we go from here. Thanks, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheerio.